Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and that is so true today, particularly with our guest today. He's live on our USA Global TV and Radio network, but he's from India. And he has a passion that he's going to share some information with us. Most of us, when we want to make change, we sort of kind of know where we're at, but sometimes we don't. Like in the book Alice in Wonderland, Alice gets to the fork in the road, and basically she was told that if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. But if you want to make some substantive change in life, you got to know where you are. And my guest today, Naveen Toshniwal, is an expert. It's his passion to help people with what's called, we used to call it handwriting analysis, but it's now called graphotherapy. He's a graphotherapist. So Naveen, please join me.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Red, for giving me an opportunity to be on your show and an opportunity to share my knowledge with everyone.
And you're in India right now. What part of India are you in?
We are in a city called Jaipur. It's a tourist spot and about 300 kilometers from the capital, New Delhi.
Okay. And again, a live show here in Texas. It's just a few minutes after noon, and you're, sometime in the middle of the night. So again, a truly international, worldwide show that we have here on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. We were talking ahead of time. I've done a little bit of research on Naveen because I watched a couple of your videos. I've gone into your website, and it's an area that's fascinated me, handwriting analysis. But now you take handwriting analysis and you develop it further, so it's actually can be used as a therapy to help people improve or make changes that will significantly improve their lives. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved in that.
See, actually, when I was a student, I was studying in college. My father, he also had interest in this subject. And I remember he used to get handwritten applications from the probable candidates who would be interviewed and employed in our business. So I used to find it very fascinating that how my father used to study the strokes of the handwriting of the candidates and then decide whom to interview and whom not to interview at all. And even before the interviews, he would be almost fully aware of the characteristics and personality of the persons he was about to interview. And that's how I got very fascinated and I started learning from him. And in due course of time, I self studied books and did some research, did some online courses, and that's how it's developing.
When you're hiring somebody, a lot of times everything's typed out or it's a digital form. You don't really get a chance to see any handwriting. And from what I remember reading, you would like to have a full page of handwritten uh, letters, words, so that you can make an assessment based on a fairly large group of characters that you can review rather than just a couple of words on a piece of paper. Tell us how the handwriting changes from just a few words to when you have to put 300 words together.
See, actually, these days we hardly write. That is a limitation. But this science is very old. You must have heard of a Greek scholar, Aristotle. He was one of the first persons about 2000 years back who actually established a link between the handwriting and the mind. He used to say that handwriting is actually mind writing, and whatever is there in your mind, it comes out through the paper and through the pen. Sorry, it comes out through the hand and on through the pen on the paper. And this has been widely used in European countries and even in parts of America for corporate placements. Unfortunately, the awareness of this science is very limited. Very few people are actually aware that it can accurately analyze the personality and characteristics of a person up to the subconscious. And most amazing part is that if you consciously change some strokes in the handwriting, you don't need to change your handwriting, just a few strokes. It will actually help you to change your personality for the better. You can improve on your positive traits and even get over your negative traits. You just have to devote 5 minutes a day to practice the stroke changes. And in the duration of about 3 weeks, you will actually change. You will be able to see the changes in yourself, the way you feel, the way you react to situations. You will be able to observe it yourself once you go through the therapy. So it's a very amazing science. And once you experience it, you will come to know.
I find that absolutely fascinating. A few minutes a day, a few weeks, boom, you have changes. Where over here in the United States, they'll give you some pills and say come back in 30 days or 60 days, and you have no idea whether you really changed or not. You may or may not feel any different, but you can actually take the hand, pen, paper, and movement that has a coordination between the hand and finger movement right straight to the brain, to the subconscious, to make changes. Uh, that is interesting because I know that when I want to learn something and remember it easier, I will generally write it. That way, not typing. I love to type. I type very, very, very fast, but I'll handwrite something, and that handwriting will imprint in my brain something to remember easier. Now, I can easily see that you've taken that a step further from the scientific perspective and saying, if you do this, you get worse. If you don't do this, what get better, whatever. Uh, Tell us about some of your success stories, because I'm sure you've had some people that they didn't know they had a problem, or that maybe they knew they had a problem, but you said do this, and all of a sudden things change in lives. Kind of give us a little refresher course on what the results are from your therapy sessions.
See, actually, I've been practicing this science for almost 15 years now on a professional basis. And the very reason why I am continuing to pursue it is the positive feedbacks which I am getting from the people who have gone through the therapy. See, remember, this is not a business for me, it is just my passion. So even if I had got one single negative feedback in all these years, I would have got I would have got a double thought whether I should really continue and pursue this hobby at all. Because if it was not giving results, there would have been no motivation. But the very fact that I am getting the feedbacks and results from my clients, that is the reason I am pursuing it and practicing it even more dedicatedly in the days to come. I'll give you one example. In the lockdown time, there were many cases when people were going through a bad phase. They had strong anxieties, depression, and I had got a handwriting from one of my clients who was having suicidal tendencies in the handwriting. Now, this was a very sensitive trait, and it is very difficult to tell someone directly that, look, you have got suicidal tendencies. I had to tackle it very uh, judiciously, and I had to tell the person, like, look, this is the stroke which you have to change. This is not good. You must change it and practice it, and it will help you a lot. I could not tell her directly that, okay, this is a stroke which shows you that suicidal tendencies. That is not good. But I told her to practice the particular stroke change. Initially, there was some resistance in the practice. Then I told her mother that she must practice it. It's important. Then, once she started practicing, I could see the change in attitude coming in the next 2 weeks. A person who was not able to lift her eyes and talk and share anything about herself. When I talked to her after 2 weeks, she said, "Good morning, sir. How are you?" That was a very positive indication. And then today, by God's grace, she is doing very well and employed. So these are the motivations and feedback, sorry, the feedbacks which keep on motivating me to pursue this subject.
Well, that's quite interesting. I have read several of the testimonials that your clients have given, and all of them are very, very positive. All recognize the fact that, yeah, they did change. And it was thanks to you that that change was affected. So, in other words, I look at several things that you offer change in. Removing depression is one of them. I'm guessing that's a fairly, I'm not going to say easy trait to discover in handwriting, but it's a trait that is available. And how is it just a matter of changing the handwriting that reduces the level of depression, or is it anything else that goes with it that makes the depression lessen?
No, actually, I'll tell you honestly, it is not changing the handwriting. You are just simply changing a few strokes. You are just modifying the few strokes. In fact, changing the handwriting is not easy. It's difficult. But you need to change a few strokes, a small changes. Can I give you a small demo? I have got some charts with me. I'll give you a small demo that will give you an idea how I help people to do the therapy. See, these are the different ways we are writing M and N. This is M, which is having pointed tops. Okay, sorry, this one, this line. Here the M's and N's are written with inverted V's. Now, this particular M's and N's, which are having pointed tops, these indicate people who have got a sharp mind, a very good grasping ability. The M's and N's with inverted V's indicate people who have curiosity for learning. And these are M's and N's with rounded tops. This is the way we were taught to write in school. This indicates people who are actually slow thinkers. There's nothing wrong in a slow thinker. A person who would like to go in details by studying and restudying and would like to gather more and more knowledge before coming to any conclusion, right? So this is a sharp mind, this is curiosity for learning, and this is people who have a habit of exploring and going into details. I'll just give you another chart because it's a short show. These are different ways in which we are writing the small letter T. So every T has got a meaning. Like for example, a T bar going to the right. This indicates short temper. A T bar going to the left. That indicates procrastination. A T bar which is going cutting towards the top. This shows ambition and long-term well-defined goals. A T bar which is not cutting the T stem at all. It is going above the T stem. This shows people who are overthinkers and daydreamers. They just go on thinking and thinking, but they don't implement their thoughts. A T bar going low like this. This indicates people who have low self-esteem, self-doubt. They doubt their own capabilities, right? So this is in short, and of course there are many other ways in which you can write a T. So for an example, I'll give you, if someone is having low self-confidence, the T bar is cutting low towards the bottom. I will simply tell that person to cut the T bar towards the top, like this, somewhat like this, so that this therapy, when practiced for a duration of about 3 weeks, will bring the change and the person will get back his confidence and he will be boosting with energy. So this is a simple example of a therapy. But remember one thing, the therapy is given only after the detailed and complete analysis of the person. Otherwise, it will not work. Simply tackling self-doubt will not help. You have to see the entire personality. What is the thought process? How does the person react in what situations? Whether the person is sensitive, honest, dishonest. All the factors are considered before giving any therapy.
I am super glad you showed us that graphic, especially with the cheese, because there's so many different variations. And when you said you just move the chi bar up and you do that for a period of time, that clarified in my mind exactly the kind of therapy that you're talking about. So thank you for that. I'm going to say 5 decades for sure, 6 decades ago, uh, I stopped handwriting and strictly with capital letters, handwritten letters. I mean, I do not cursively write anything other than my name. And so everything is a capital letter. Now, if I need a capital letter, then that letter is going to be bigger than the capital letter next to it. I have no idea what kind of personality trait that is, but is that something that you can analyze as easily as a cursive handwriting?
See, cursive handwriting is something which is different because there you are making up the letters. So if you want the proper analysis to be done, it should be a normal and natural handwriting so that a proper analysis can be done. And after the proper analysis is done, then we go in for the therapy. And what you are saying is absolutely right. These days we hardly write. In fact, we don't even sign checks. Even the payments are online these days. But even if you write after 10 years or maybe after 20 years also, you will be accurately analyzed. And once you do the therapy which I give is very simple. You don't have to practice it for months together or weeks together. You just have to devote 5 minutes a day for the practice for a duration of 3 weeks. And once the 3 weeks are over and you are able to observe the changes in yourself, that's it. It's over. You need not continue with it lifelong. You will be able to get the desired changes in a duration of about 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, I didn't mean that I stopped writing. I write a lot, I really do. But everything I handwrite is all capital letters. I do not do cursive. I have not done cursive
Hmm.
since 60s, maybe, for whatever
Okay.
reason. Now, if I have to, I do, but I have to concentrate on what I'm doing because they're not letters that I do all the time, other than my signature. But if I were to show you my desk here, I have probably 50, 100 pieces of paper that have different comments on their thoughts, to-do lists, actions that I need, outlines for different things, but everything's capital letters. Just that's the way I function. In fact, most of the time when I'm taking notes in class, I will be looking at the board or looking at the teacher and writing on the line on the paper without even looking at the paper, because I know how to form the letters and how to move my hand. And so it's become a natural. I can write as fast doing capital letters as most people can just handwrite. So it's just an accommodation that I've made for me that makes it easier for me. So I, I'm sure there probably is some nuances in there that somebody can analyze and make suggestions for, but the science that you're talking about, I find that, because one of the topics that I'm talking about after this show is over, I'm talking about emotional health and mental health, primarily mental health today, and depression, and negative personalities and schizophrenia and bipolar and other things are all wrapped up in that mental component that connects to our hands and the way we write. And in the American Medical Association, the standard of care is give them a pill. We don't say get on a horseback, go out, get some fresh air, and come back in an hour. And that does a lot of good, but that's not necessarily a prescription for improving someone's happiness. But I love what you're saying about, let's find out what the total problem is and work on each part that needs fixing incrementally over a short period of time, consistently, and boom, there are some very positive results without the medications.
Yes, you have to keep some patience. You cannot expect to see the result overnight just by writing 1 or 2 days or practicing 1 or 2 days. But if you keep the patience and do it with a positive mind that, yes, I'm doing it for my own benefit, you will be amazed with the results. You will be definitely be seeing the changes in yourself. See, I'll give you some specific examples. What are the common issues these days? Common issues, especially in teenagers, are that they are ambitious, no doubt. All of them are ambitious, but their goals are not clear. They want to do something, but if you ask them, what do you want to do? They will be confused. They will not be clear about their long term specific goals. Another common issue, as I was pointing out with the letter T, is self doubt. Self doubt is very common these days, and people are not able to define their long term goals, probably because of the self doubt, too much of competition. So they are doubting their own capabilities. Then another very important issue is people are creative, but their creativity is not being utilized. So if the creativity is not being utilized, they get frustration, they get affected, and too much of frustration means it will lead to depression. So these are the common issues which I have seen in today's teenagers. And you'll be surprised, even at the age of 50, 55, people are still not clear about their long term goals in life. And if I have got clients who are of the age of 65 and 70 also, they have also gone through the therapy, and they are so happy after going through it that I cannot tell you how they have explained in words how happy they were after going through the therapy.
That's interesting. So in other words, they've lived a full life. They're probably retired or thinking about retiring, but there's still some nagging doubt or some issue that manifests consistently in their writing, but has been undiscovered until somebody like you that has that skill in order to be able to assess that and the other surrounding issues and saying, hey, uh, I can help you, but you got to do this. And it's not much, but you got to do it. Uh, and I guess when you get a parent involved, now you have that accountability factor that is not there. Then when you just say, hey, George, do this. But now you have two people over there, one doing it and one making sure the other one actually does do it on a consistent basis. And so the consistency along with the actual incremental change is what is fed back to your subconscious brain. Is that right?
Right.
The consistency of whatever change that you are, let's say you're making your T bar cross at whatever location, not down low, not above, but at a certain location consistently. So the consistency, the frequency over a period of time will reinforce the subconscious mind to make an incremental shift. And that's what that's the effect of the science as far as the results go.
Right. In fact, I would also like to add on to what you said. Uh, See, there are some misconceptions which I would like to clear. There are many people who think or claim they have come across people who are able to analyze your personality through a signature. And just by suggesting some changes in the signature, they claim to change your personality for the better. See, according to me, with due regards to those people, I feel it is not absolutely correct. Because, see, when I do the analysis, I always tell my client to give me a full entire page of the handwriting. What is the reason for that? Because in a full page of handwriting, you will be writing the letters, various letters, A, B, C, D, T, Y, whatever, in different ways. You will not write all the T's in a particular way. You might be writing T in maybe 5 different ways, but what is important is the repetition of the strokes. If you are writing T in a particular way, suppose it is repeating 5 times, which shows ambition. So it is absolutely proven that you are definitely ambitious. Some Tivas may be having a stroke of showing short temper. But if the strokes are less, that means that it is not all that prominent. It is there. The short temper is there, but it is not all that prominent. That is the reason we should always analyze through a full page so that all the strokes are accurately analyzed and which are the most prominent traits, positive and negative. Those are clearly brought out and the therapy will be decided based on the entire analysis of the person. See, let me ask you a query, sir. You have asked me many queries. What do you say? Willpower is a positive trait or a negative trait?
My first inclination off the top of my head is yes, it is a positive trait.
Yes. See, in the first instance, all of us will say that willpower is definitely a positive trait. Now, let us take a case where I am doing the analysis, and other than the willpower, I get some strokes which denote heavy resentment, jealousy, greed, extremely short and nasty temper, and a person who is revengeful. Now, what will happen if the willpower of that person is increased? Don't you think it will be a disaster?
I think in
So,
the case that you mentioned, yes, when you have a negative influence and you're increasing the the surrounding supports for that negative influence and making them stronger, yes, it's going to become more negative. But conversely, you
yes.
would have the same thing with the positive support structure too.
Yes, absolutely. That is the reason I was emphasizing that whenever we go for a therapy, it has to be done after a detailed and complete analysis so that the therapy goes in the right direction and you get positive and well desired results.
Okay, so let's say I'm a parent and I have a preteen, 9, 10, 11 years of age, and they're getting ready to graduate in a few years from high school. Is that a person that would be an ideal client for you to give them some good self-esteem, give them some direction and planning, give them some goal setting to kind of remove obstacles from their path ahead of time? Is that a good client for you?
Yes, definitely. See, teenagers are very vulnerable, and they are the people who are to be guided at the right time so that they are able to define a long-term goal. It will help them to choose a career and build up their confidence. And definitely, that is a very good age group to go in for an analysis and thereafter the therapy.
Okay, so now I'd go to maybe somebody who's 40 something years of age. They're retiring from the military and they've been half a dozen places around the world. They are now going into a different environment in 4 to 5 years. That I think also would be a good client because now they are masters of their own world, but their world is not what their future is. So I think that would also be a good client. Would you not think so?
Yes, definitely, sir. In fact, a lot of people who are in defense services in India, they retire early, because anyone in the Air Force, Navy, Army, they would be probably retiring at the age of 45 or latest 50. And they have a lavish lifestyle while they are in the services. They will get all the perks, they will get a house and so many servants. And once they retire, then they go through a very difficult phase because they have to manage everything on their own. They don't have any servants, big houses, and they don't know what to do now in life. So, in fact, there was a group, WhatsApp group, which was made in India, which consisted of retired officers from the defense services. And most of them took my therapy after I had given a demo, just like we are talking now. I had given a demo on this subject, and most of them became my clients just to go through the therapy and make a proper mindset as to what they should now do further in life.
Who else? I mean, we're getting to the end of the show, and I told you earlier that I was going to give you a chance to describe good clients and how to get in touch with you. But one thing that's been nagging in my brain, I've been waiting for the right time to ask it, is that we're talking about the English language, but you have people who write uh, in the Indian language, Thai language, Chinese, Cyrillics from Russian, Greek. How many different languages are is this science effective in?
Sir, this is a very valid question and a very important question which you have asked me. In fact, the analysis is done through the strokes in the handwriting, no matter what language you write, whether it is English, Latin, German, French, Japanese, Hindi, Bengali, anything. Uh, but my knowledge is restricted to analysis in uh, those languages where we are using ABCD as the base letters. That will be English, German, Latin, French, or any other language where the ABCD letters are there. So that is my limitation and limitation on my knowledge. But an expert who has studied analysis in all the languages, yes, it is technically possible to analyze in any language.
Okay, so let's say that I hire you as my guide, my mentor, my therapist, and you say, "Give me a page of writing, a couple hundred words." Do I just copy something out of a book? Do I just start randomly writing something that comes to my mind? What is this writing on this piece of paper coming from? What generates that sample for you to make a judgment on?
See, generally, you can write anything. You can write anything from your mind, or you can just take a newspaper or magazine or copy the text. But what is important is that you should write on a plain page. That is better because if you write on a ruled paper, then obviously you will be writing straight on the line. But if you write on a plain paper, letters going up and down, or lines going up or lines going down towards the end or towards the beginning, that also has a meaning. So one should always write on a plain page, a simple A4 size printing paper page. So that will be best for an accurate analysis.
Okay, so when you have handwriting on a plain page and it's all tilted and forward or straight up or backwards, that indicates something. Is that something
Yes,
you
I'll
look
show
for?
you. Since you have asked the query, let me show you this chart. See,
Okay.
this is a right slanting handwriting. This is a straight handwriting, and this is a left slant handwriting. Okay. A right slant handwriting indicates people who are very emotional and very expressive. They will show their feelings and emotions. A straight handwriting indicates people who are composed. They will generally not show their emotions. And a left slant handwriting like this one, this indicates people who are reserved, and too much of left slant may even indicate people who are introverts. So you are right. The slant has a meaning. The lines going up, the lines going down, or words going down, words going up, that also has a meaning. See, in this brief show, it is very difficult to give an entire demo, but I have got a variety of charts. When I go to universities and corporates for sessions, I give them a detailed demo of what stroke means what. I get a whiteboard and a marker pen, and I will give an entire demo, and I will make it a very interactive session. I will call people to write few lines on the board, and I will do a brief analysis for them. That creates an atmosphere which is so lively. People get involved, they ask more and more questions, they want to come on the board, and they also want to write something and know something more about what they want to know.
So also the spacing between the words and the space between letters also has a significance, I assume.
Yes, definitely. Even the breaks in the words. In one particular word, suppose that it's a long word, say a word like immediately or a word like procrastination. It's a long word. Even if there are break in between the letters in long words, that also has a meaning.
Okay. Well, we're down to the last couple of minutes of the show, and I promised you some time to tell my audience what value you offer. How do people get in touch with you? Who are good clients? Good. So why don't you take over for a minute or two and tell people how to get in touch with you and what can you do for them?
See, actually, I am there on Facebook with my name, Naveen Toshniwal. Under my name, I have written Graphotherapy Specialist. There may be a few more Naveen Toshniwals in the world, but under my name, I have written Graphotherapy Specialist. I am there on LinkedIn, and I am also there on Instagram. So you will be able to find me there. And of course, my contact details, email ID, and WhatsApp number are already typed, and which is appearing below on the screen, which I have already highlighted. So anyone can approach me through these contact informations.
Okay, so for our audio audience, we'll be picking this up later today. The website is www.traitreader, Trait, traitreader, reader.com. So traitreader.com is Naveen's website. His email is Toshniwal N. So it's TOSNIWALN at gmail.com. So ToshniwalN@gmail.com. I hope I said that correctly for the audience out there today. And for the people on the video audience, we're looking at Naveen's LinkedIn profile right now. So he's available on Facebook, available on LinkedIn, available at his website, and available through email and on the WhatsApp phone number. So Naveen, I would love to have you come back later on and maybe we get into some demos about different things. And that would be something really to kind of coordinate. But I also realize that you're working in the middle of the night, your time. So we got to respect that too. But thank you so very, very much. I really and truly enjoyed your conversation today with regard to the science of handwriting analysis and graphotherapy. So thank you, sir.
Yeah, and my pleasure too. And once again, thank you for inviting me on your show and giving me an opportunity to share some of my knowledge.
Yeah. Like I said, I'd love to have you come back later on, Naveen. So with that, we're going to conclude the wise ones a couple seconds early. And very, very shortly, in about 20 minutes, I'll be talking about mental health on Talking Heads. I've been doing this show now for a few weeks, talking about STEM, not the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but stress toxins, emotions, and mental. And today we're transitioning out of emotional health into mental health. And how does mental health affect your physical health and your longevity? And that's kind of what we're doing. So anyway, please join me again here in about 15, 20 minutes on the USA Global TV and Radio Network for Talking Heads. And if not, you can always catch it on YouTube and many, many other channels out there. So thank you very much, and we will catch you next week. Take care. Bye now.
Women of the Caribbean and around the world, are you tired of the status quo? Tired of barely making ends meet? Tired of giving maximum effort for minimum results? Are you in need of change, a fresh start, a new outlook, a new perspective? It's time to break through. Join us along with women from around the world at the Empower Her Escape, a 5-day all-inclusive royal cruise to the Bahamas and Florida. Connect with world leaders and influencers and begin afresh your journey to more. Hear dynamic speakers with sessions on women in leadership, the importance of mentorship, how to start a business from the ground up, financial literacy, an integrated approach to wellness and wholeness, and so much more. Guest speakers include First Lady Anne-Marie Davis of the Bahamas, Her Royal Highness Katerina of Yugoslavia Lady de Silva, Her Royal Highness Queen Sekothali Mephena of South Africa, and Coach Max, Global Multi-Six-Figure Wealth Coach. Cruise packages include 2 nights at an all-exclusive resort, gratuities, taxes, and port fees, red carpet welcome and extravaganza, course materials, and a souvenir gift bag, flight not included. The Empower Her Escape Cruise takes place on May 15th through the 19th, 2024, departing from the port of Palm Beach, Riviera Beach, Florida. Hosts for this life-changing event are Coach Cherish Hollingsworth of Florida and Coach Mercy Gilbert of the UK. For more information, visit our website at www.empowerherroyalescape.com or call us at 954-203-6608 or email us at cherishresiliencecoach@gmail.com. Connect, collaborate, celebrate at the Empower Her Escape Cruise.
Hello, I'm children's author Diane Floyd Bain, and I am co-host for several of the USA Global TV and radio shows. I joined because of the purpose of the USA Global TV and radio. They provide content for the viewers and listeners, an opportunity for people around the world to have their own show or even be a guest on an existing show. We truly believe in helping others get their positive message out to the world. We also have the opportunity for the listeners. You can watch on several platforms, and on YouTube, you can ask questions and even give a comment. We absolutely love it. I love being part of the USA Global TV and radio because I love positive messages, and who doesn't? And we need more of that in the world. We are a family, and we hope you will join us and become part of the family too.
program has been brought to you in part by Zane Carson Carruth, etiquette and protocol expert, international award-winning author, television show host, and philanthropist. Thank you to Zane, our official diamond sponsor for USA Global TV and Radio in partnership with E360 TV. Zane is the author of The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever, as well as many other children's books. She's also the television host of Elegance, Polished Demeanor, and Posh Living, seen on USA Global TV and Radio.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating warm memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Abella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Abella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com. and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
To learn more about Zane, contact her through her website, zanecarruth.com, ZANECARRUTH.com. Order Zane's books and merchandise. Contact her about being a keynote speaker at your next event.